Well, hello everyone. We're at John Wayne Airport and we're heading to Houston again. So let's get on a plane and have some fun.
Okay, well, welcome back everybody. This video is going to be a little different than the other videos in the past. It's basically just what went on. It's sort of an amalgam of shots of what I did on this trip, and others, all cut together. It's not so much a linear or educational overview, it's just a document of my time while I was there. I hope to do more like this in the future. Okay. Well, now that I've arrived here in Houston, it's time to get my bag and head out to the curb before slowing things down a bit. I have to say I wasn't planning on filming anything while I was out here, since I already did a video on Texas and Houston and all my wonderful friends that I come out to see here. Then I realized there's a whole bunch of other friends that I come out and see that I haven't shown. So, while I'm here, I'll just keep the camera rolling and see what comes up. And that's what I did.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Houston, Texas. Today is an overcast day. I think it's going to rain in a few moments. I don't have any plans. I thought I was going to video more while I was out here, but I'm just enjoying the scenic view and the company that I'm sharing with friends out here. Wanted to say hello and show you what I'm doing, even if it's not much.
So just to recap, since the last video, you've already met the three main people that I've known for over 20 years. Those are Greg, Connie, and their daughter Wendy. On this video, you'll see a few others like Joe, Wendy's husband. He knows more about sports than anyone I've ever met. Houston is a place I do a lot of eating, and that's because the food out there is just so good. From Tex-Mex food to wonderful barbecue, Greg always knows all the great places to check out. And it's a great place to catch up with friends who are a little camera shy. Now on this trip, having just stepped off the plane, Connie and Greg asked if there was anywhere I wanted to eat. I remembered a place on the last trip that we all went to called Cucos. It was a favorite place of mine, so I suggested that. Unfortunately, I was in for a surprise. We all found out that it wasn't there anymore. You see, there was a fire, and before they could repair things, there was another fire. At that point, they decided to just level the restaurant. I'm told now that after a long wait, they're rebuilding. I hope they do. I really did like that place. Luckily, Connie had a backup plan and suggested another great restaurant. It wasn't too far away, in Tomball, Texas. The Goodson Cafe is a Houston institution. It's been around since 1950, started by Ella Goodson. It's a very Texas place. Actually, Connie and Greg went there on a date before they were married. It has all the Texas comfort foods that I normally don't eat, like biscuits and gravy and country fried steak with mashed potatoes and corn. I enjoyed eating there though. They don't call it comfort food for nothing. But it really was nice just to relax and catch up with friends. When we got back, we met up with another friend over some wine and cheese. It was Kathy. I met Kathy about the same time as everyone else years ago. She's a very close friend to Connie, and also married to Dan, who we'll meet in a moment. She always brings a warmth to any room she's in. Of the places I've traveled, Houston, at least for me, is one of the most peaceful places. A large part of that is the sense of family I feel with my friends. I feel blessed to be included. Also, nowhere else do I get such a restful sleep, and that's wonderful too. On this cool morning, I decided to go out back and look at the beautiful backyard and enjoy some quiet time. Now this was about March, and I hadn't visited much in the cooler weather before, but that wasn't going to stop me from trying out that pool. It was calling to me. Connie told me it would be too cold to swim, but I felt I'd be fine. I don't know why I doubted her, because it was very cold, but I'm still glad I swam. It was fun just to play in the water, and I got used to the temperature.
That was a great swim. Now let's go see a little bit of Houston.
We decided to take a drive that day, and we didn't drive too far away. They were going to show me an area called Old Town Spring. Now, I had been to Old Town Spring but about 20 years ago, and I had forgotten most of everything I had seen, but I knew I enjoyed it. Today, my friends would be my guide to rediscover it again. There was Connie and Joe and his daughter Blaine. Old Town Spring is a wonderfully preserved historic town. You really do feel like you're back in time in 1895 at the turn of the century in Texas. Train traffic back then was very important, and the town popped up right next to the tracks. Actually, its train station, well, it's still there, even though it looks a little different. It's a restaurant now, and moved to its current location. The entire Old Town Springs is a collection of old buildings that have been moved into one area and turned into stores. Each store has its own flavor and specialty. They have a market for British things, a wedding store. At the hardware and gem store, they like to point out the bullet holes from the gunfight when the building was a bank back in 1917. I like the old vinyl record store with its listening stations, just in case you were longing for some Stevie Ray Vaughan. They also have an elaborate candy store that sells all the products that are long gone or hard to find.
We'll stop by here. This is very cool.
I have bought stuff in every one of these shops.
Yeah, we'll do it later.
The very first time I was in Old Town Spring was for its food, wine, and art festival, SpringFest. It was a big show then and now. Actually, I still have the glass from that event. It was the first time I had a Shiner Bock beer, and it was the first time I got to know my friends. It was a great memory. Another great memory that came to mind was when I was walking through one of the stores, and through its large windows, I saw a building that looked very familiar to me, and I had to visit it. It was the Wunche Brothers Cafe, or bar and saloon. It's been many things over the years, and it's actually been rebuilt a few times too. But it's the porch that is the most memorable for me, since many of the pictures I have of my friends were taken there. They've all grown up now. The inside of the Wunche Brothers, well, that's been remodeled too a few times. But the food is always the same, delicious, and I always get a Wunche burger. On this lunch, I was trying to keep up with Joe. He was telling me all about sports medicine. It was all over my head, and it was awfully impressive. He knows his stuff.
I don't know if you can hear the church bells in the background. It's Sunday and the churches are all letting out. I went to church today. It's the same location I was the last time. It's a little bit different though because it's colder and it's overcast and it's going to rain pretty soon. Here's my 360. It's all set up, taking pictures. But it's the same location, but I'm enjoying it a lot more than I did the last time. But I do know the last time I was here, I did that wacky experiment where I put the camera in my mouth. And I know that that was the most watched part of the vlog. So I'm gonna have to do that again since it's a goofy experiment. Oh man. There you go. Wow.
Okay, well, with that out of the way, I had remembered that Greg had asked me to come back by a certain time to meet two special guests. They were Dottie and Louie. This was my first time meeting Dottie and Louie. They were actually the dogs of Greg's friend, Dan, who I've also known for many years.
No.
You too.
Louie, you want a drink? Drink?
These walks were certainly relaxing, and they're a great time to catch up. On this walk, though, I was reminiscing about old friends, and one in particular that was no longer with us. His name was Boyd, and I referred to him as the Big Texan. He was Greg's best friend, and he was bigger than life. He was even a Texas Ranger, a true outdoorsman. When he was in the outdoors, he liked to cook, and he made a cookbook that he graciously sent me. I didn't know it, but he was only making these for friends. Connie and Greg have the whole collection. I promised Boyd I'd show it to all the chefs all over Los Angeles. I certainly did. I can't tell you how many times it was borrowed. It's that good. He's deeply missed by all of his friends, and I, for one, am glad that our paths crossed.
What are you doing down there? Did you fall down? Let me help you. Now you're a little bit lower. Oops, you got some junk on you here. Hold on. All right. I think we're done. One last time.